All right, hello Evelings, and welcome to another episode of Aries Gaming. We're playing EVE Online today, like we always do. And so many people shoot their videos inside a hangar that I thought I would get out in space and shoot it near a purple sun. It's just prettier that way. So all that aside, today we're going to talk about Cosmos missions, and specifically the Gallente Cosmos missions, because those are the ones that I've been running. If you don't know what Cosmos missions are, they are missions that can be done once per character. If you fail them or screw them up or lose the item that you need somehow, it can be pretty bad because then you can break that chain, and you've got only like one good shot at these. So don't start doing them until you're really ready. Don't even talk to the agents. Don't even let them know you exist. They start to get antsy. But if you're sick of running security missions, distribution missions, mining missions, maybe see if your standing's high enough to get out here and give the Cosmos missions a try. I'm going to talk about Gallente. Now, some of the Cosmos mission chains are broken because of Pakven. When Pakven came into existence and the Triglavians took over those systems, they took away, I guess, some parts of some of the Cosmos chains. So some of them are undoable. I believe the Caldari one is kind of a hot mess of dumpster fire garbage right now. You can explore those on your own. Since I'm a Gallente pilot, mainly I decided to stick to the Gallente ones. So in order to see if you have the standings necessary to do this, you go into your character, go to interactions, and go to standings, and type in the relevant faction. So for Gallente Federation, my standing is 4.97 right now. Now I actually want it to get it higher than that, and we'll talk about how you can accomplish that if you need to start the missions. But if you're running the Caldari ones, boy, the Caldari really hate me. Let's see the Minmatar. So I could run a decent amount of the Minmatar ones as well. For some reason, the Minmatar seem to enjoy me, and the Amar, I think the Amar hate me too. Oh yeah, they're not happy. So I could run some Minmatar stuff. I might head over there after I'm done going through as much of the Gallente as I can to see if I can maybe see how broken this chain is as well. But let's talk about the Cosmos missions. Now, as you if you do a quick little research on the Cosmos, we will hop into this the website and the EVE wiki. Now this is a little bit, some parts of this are a little bit inaccurate, but for the most part it's in really good shape. I've only found a couple things that I don't think are quite right. So there are 3 distribution missions that don't even require any standing, and one of them is Thucker, one of them is Gallente, and one of them is Ore, but that doesn't matter. You can just do them because they don't require any faction standing. This one I actually haven't even been able to do yet because I can't find one of these binary transpositional codes for under like 300 million, and there's just no way I'm running a level 1 Cosmos mission for like the 300 mil item. So you can find this in Constellations. There is a special spawn. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but I'm just going to do the overlay. So there's 3 of these level 1 missions. Then they come from these guys. They're all within the same constellation, not from the same system. There's kind of a bunch of systems, and you'll learn them really well as you start jumping back and forth between them. But they're all in the same constellation, the same group of things. And so the level 2 missions, you need a Gallente Federation standing of 2.0 or better to start these. The agents that say like Angel Cartel and Thucker and Caldari, I obviously couldn't do these guys because they, even though they're part of the Gallente stuff, they actually work for Caldari or Thucker or Angel. So I was only able to do this one, because the Angel Cartel hates me. I'm at like negative a cajillion with these guys because I blew up a lot of their stuff, and I didn't feel bad about it. So the Gallente Federation ones are the ones that you can do if you have good Gallente standings. Check your other standings. You might be able to do some of these Caldari ones, even in Gallente space, because the Caldari like you. Okay, so then these level 4 ones, I was able to do all these, the level 3 ones that require 4 standing, although I'm not 100% sure that's accurate. You might be able to do these at less than that. So the first thing you kind of need to do is get a feel for what these missions are. And I will also show you the ship that I was using to do them. And once you have the proper standings, you can go fly to the agents. Now, the reward you get from these is a lot of these storyline BPCs. So I'm trying to think of the names of them, but they're really fun. Probably here, right? So stuff like this. Okay, let's look at this. So they have these little green symbol up in the corner, and they say storyline if you hover on the symbol. It looks like faction, but it's a little bit different. A lot of these are very relaxed fitting requirements. The heavy ion blaster, the hooligan heavy ion blaster, is the exact same. Exact same. That's an oxymoron, right? Or not an oxymoron, but a redundancy. As the Tech 2 version of the ion blaster, except that it's like 30% easier to fit your power grid and 15% easier to fit on your CPU. So you can save some space on, if you're running 8 of these, even 5, 6 blasters, you'll save enough room for something else shiny on your ship, maybe that you wouldn't have normally otherwise been able to. And so you can get very unique storyline blueprint copies from this. So you got to be super careful with them because some of them are very, very expensive, and there's only one. You can only get them once per character. So let me show you the ship I've been using to run every single one so far. Now I know I won't be able to finish the chain because I looked ahead. There's a mission where I have to kill a bunch of battleships, so I'll have to build something else. But the Sunesis is sort of my go-to ship when I have no idea what's going on. I just build a Sunesis, right? So this thing, you can fit it up however you want. I will link the fit that I used. I'll explain it here quick, and I'll link it in the description. But here we go. Small low friction nozzle joints helps me keep my align time down so that a couple times you have to dip into low sec. You don't want to get caught doing that. So if you keep your align time down, actually if I turn my MWD off, this puts me under 2 seconds, which is kind of like the benchmark for align times if you don't want to get locked up and scrammed. Okay, so any way you can get that under 2 is good. So between the inertial stabilizer here and the nozzle joints here, I could get it down to less than 2, which was my goal the whole time. Small hyperspatial velocity optimizer takes my warp from 4.5 AU a second to 5.6. All right. Not a huge deal, obviously, but you do warp a lot in the Cosmos missions. Just like the Sisters of Eve Epic arc, you fly, they want you to go everywhere. They think that you're just there to do their bidding, which of course you are. So they send you all over the place. The faster you align and the faster you warp, the faster you get around. All right. So it's a lot of distribution stuff. Grab this, take it here, grab this, take it here, grab this, take it here. And so, you need to do that as well. So then a small core defense field extender because I'm shield tanking the Sunesis because my low slots are otherwise occupied by expanded cargo holds because you want to hit 1200 plus a little bit of room for ammo and other junk, right? So 1200 is kind of the key number because some of the distribution missions will give you a chunk of 1200 stuff. So instead of building like a specialized hauler and a specialized combat ship and a specialized thing that goes to low sec quickly, I'm trying to cram it all into the Sunesis. High slots are up to you. If you are a projectile person, a Minmatar, if you like lasers, if you like full missiles. But what I would say is, because you want to get through the combat as quickly as you can, the drones do a ton of work in this build. So make sure that you have decent drone skills. Okay, you should always have decent drone skills because drones are the best. And you fly a Gila anyway, don't you? Just like everyone else, except for me, because I hate the Gila. But I put 3 railguns and a missile launcher up here. This keeps my optimal about 30 km. And my drones can do that too. So this little guy, I've got a shield tank on it, and sometimes I take some damage and stuff. But if you fit short range, I can't guarantee that you're not going to get completely blown up. All right, I've got an enduring Microwarpdrive on it, and I've got a medium shield extender, a small shield extender, and a Multispectrum shield hardener. Right, so we got to have some kind of tank. I've got about 8,200 EHP this way, and this is the ship that I have done all of the Gallente Cosmos missions with. Another thing that I want to mention about these missions is some of them require these special items that are sometimes very difficult to find. I was trying to find, this says Porpoise Anton's missions, but that's not, Porpoise Anton isn't the thing that you get a mission from. He's a bad guy. So you don't need his missions, you need his thing. In order to get this, I had to wake up at 6 a.m. right when the servers go off for me because I'm in Wisconsin. And right at server reboot, I logged on and I flew to where this guy's supposed to be, and lo and behold, he was there. So some of these things you just got to think a little bit outside the box. Spawns in this game are not amazingly... they're not amazingly predictable. Like, a regular game. See, Eve is not a regular game. That's what I'm getting at here. It's a special kind of thing. So a regular game like WoW or like Guild Wars 2, if they set up a mission chain, then the dude who gives you the mission item spawns like every 2 minutes, or whatever, so that everybody can do it and feel warm and fuzzy. But I waited around for hours for this guy, and I was like, you know what? He probably spawns once a day. Somebody probably already killed him. There's no way for me to tell how often he spawns because that kind of information isn't always available. And so I woke up at server reset, found him, and killed him. So you might need to think a little bit outside the box. Don't forget, you can check contracts. Okay, so contract search, just type in the name of the thing you want. And like I said, this binary, look, there's one up for 260 million. Like, forget it. I will just wait for the market, or I will find one myself somehow. What it says in this thing is that from belt rats in Constellation, but it's not, I don't think, from just random belt rats, because when I click on, I can't remember where it even was. Oh, maybe it was down here. So it's a rare find, especially Parchanier. There's a special rat with a special name. So don't just go through and kill all the things and try to waste your time looting all the stuff, because I think it's from a specific guy. This other stuff you can find. This was the thing that I was considering buying a 1.7 billion contract with a bunch of junk in it just to get one of these before I decided to just wake up at server reload. So whatever, I just saved myself 1.7 bill. All right, so a lot of this stuff you can buy off the market for a reasonable price. Jark Macon, he's a guy that you need, right? This is their shopping list. So if you find something for a reasonable price, I'd say anywhere from 20 million on down. It's probably worth your time to just buy it off the market, right? Let's see if there's any Jarks on the market. A lot of Jarks all over the place in Eve. Yeah, so he's 50 mil, so, you might want to farm him up yourself. He's a lot easier to find and get, but, you can find stuff. And usually people know that these are for Cosmos, so they'll sell them in the systems that are close to the mission. So a lot of them you won't have to go all the way down to Amar to get it. It'll be sitting right there. So I did that a few times throughout the missions to make things easier. Now, how to get Gallente Federation, or for that matter, whatever Cosmos missions you're trying to run, faction rep. Okay, is that what it's called? Standings, whatever, rep, standings. So what I found really helpful, I already had some of the standings built up without even knowing it, but there's a couple of really good ways to get standings for factions. One is the Sisters of Eve Epic Arc, which you can run every 3 months, I think, on all your characters, and that gives you a big boost to faction standings at the end of the chain, depending on which faction you pick. So, be sure to pick that, the one that you want. I'm so close to opening this epic arc. I'm really excited. I think this is Syndication, which you fly in a giant battleship and try not to die. You can also run a ton of missions. Every 16 missions gives you a storyline mission, which is usually the stupidest mission. It's like, hey, I need a lump of carbon, go bring it to me. And if you do that, it's really easy, and it gives you a bunch of rep for whatever faction. You don't get to pick the faction there, though. If you're running Gallente missions, then you'll get Gallente rep and stuff like that. So make sure you're running the right missions for what it is that you need to do. The other thing that I found really useful was at the bottom of this, there is nullsec Cosmos agents too. All right, now you gotta be. It says information on these is scarce. So I did the 3 that have none as the standings requirement because I couldn't do the 6s yet anyway. So I don't care if information is scarce. I just did this. These guys all want the same thing. They each want 20 times Viridian Cytocerosin. Don't go with Mycocerosin in your cargo hold like I did the first time, making 16 very dangerous jumps through nullsec and realizing I had the wrong stuff. Don't do that. Don't be like Alelia. Do better. Viridian Cytocerosin, okay? And if you do all 3 of these, they give you a pretty decent chunk. Let me check what they did. I think I only even did 2 of them. I saved one because I'd gotten what I wanted, and so I was going to see if I actually needed to do the 3rd one, now that I think about it. Where is it? Oh, it's these guys. Almost 0.2 for each one, which is pretty decent. If you can use that to break a threshold, so that's 0.6 worth of standings. The other thing you want to do when I hover on this, train the connection skill. Okay, that'll boost. You don't even have to do anything, and it'll automatically just boost stuff. Connections 5 is probably a bit of a long train, but if you need it to break one of the thresholds, like the 4 or the 6, by all means, that's a skill that's just sitting there begging to be trained. And level 4 doesn't really take that long. So those are my tips on Gallente Cosmos. I had a blast running them in the Sunesis because it was a little bit different than what I was used to, and the rewards are so cool and unique. It's not just the same bunch of junk over and over like mission running is. All right, just like LP and like ISK. Forget it. You get unique blueprint copies that don't exist really anywhere else, as far as I can tell. And you even have the possibility to farm the mission items yourself if you want to for ISK. Like people are looking to buy these off contracts, so by all means, just go farm stuff and have a good time over there in Gallente space. Like I said, you do have to duck into low sec a couple times, even in the high sec missions, but it's never really anything too crazy. Maybe you go in, I think you duck in at most 2 systems. Just the Sunesis will get through it. Just be careful how you're jumping and unload your valuable stuff before you jump into low sec. Please don't go in there with a bunch of storyline BPCs that you won't be able to get on that character again. That's Gallente Cosmos. And if I run the Minmatar stuff, I'll do another video on Minmatar Cosmos, although I am probably going to use the exact same ship. So we'll have to see if I have other recommendations, but I highly recommend this build. It's fast, it carries a bunch of stuff, it's deadly as hell, and it's pretty cheap at just 27 mil or somewhere roundabouts. Your mileage may vary depending on where you buy this thing, but I will link the fit in the description. Please like and subscribe. I just passed 400 subscribers, and when I get to 500, I'm going to have a party and some cake, and maybe I'll give away some random junk from my hangars to people if they want it, because I have a lot of stuff. Please help me. I'm a hoarder. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Aries Gaming, where we will talk about, I don't know, but you will find out. I should have had a plan there, but I didn't, and I'm not going to reshoot it because I like to be honest with you folks. All right, bye.